Hello there, and thank you so much for joining us right here on Transforming Families. My name is Faith Kaulu, and I'm excited to have you on board because each time we're here, this means that it is yet another opportunity for families to be transformed and for us to discuss key matters affecting our families. Purpose being bringing our families together stronger, and in living in harmony. Well, today I'm not alone. I am joined by Reverend Edward Karanja, who is a minister with the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, as well as a marriage and family therapist. Thank you so much, Rev, for being here today.
Thank you very much, Faith. It's always such a pleasure to be here in CAC TV, in the Transforming Families program. And like we say it here in CAC TV, stable families for a stable society.
Sure thing. Well, and at the very far end is Mary Waithira Kamau, who is the director of the Diamonds Refined Recovery Center, and as well as a counseling psychologist, the Women's Guild patron, and an elder at PCA Kahawa Farmers Church. Karibu sana Mary today on our program.
Oh, I'm very excited, Faith, to be here. I don't take it for granted. This is the Lord's doing. I want to thank God to be in this program this morning for transforming families, because we know how families are. I'm excited to be part and parcel of this program as we work together to have good families who are able to come together, listen together, work together, understand one another, and work together in this relationship of families. Thank you.
Wow. And Mary there has a headscarf, meaning that she is a member of the Women's Guild Fellowship. And that is what we are talking about today, the impact of the Women's Guild Fellowship and ministry in our families. You know, this whole week it has been very ceremonious and colorful because the Women's Guild have celebrated 100 years since its inception. And a lot of women who are members of the fellowship have come out to speak of the good morals, the good values that have been impacted just by them being members of this great fellowship of women. And that is what we want to have a look at today at Transforming Families. In case you're wondering why Rev is here, is because Rev is married and the wife is a member of the Women's Guild Fellowship. And he's going to tell us, what are some of the benefits of being married to a lady who is a member of the Women's Guild Fellowship?
Thank you, Faith, for clarifying.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, we're talking about Women's Guild today, and there are two ladies. People may be wondering that what is the gentleman? If there are some transgender issues here, and the gentleman is with the ladies here. So thank you for clarifying that. I am not a woman. I am a man.
He's a man. And I think allow me to say thank you as well for being here to share that with us. So I'm really excited to hear from both of you. I think we'll start with you, Mary. Take us back to when is it that you first joined the Women's Guild?
I want to first say that to join a Women's Guild group, it takes the initiative of the love. It is somebody who has a drive just to serve, because it is all about service, and it is initiated inwardly by an individual. It is not collectively put across. So what I can say that there was a lady by the name Priscilla Mereka. I think they were the pioneers there in 1926. She is a relative, and I used to admire her. Walk through the whole country, working, talking about FGM, very passionately, bringing girls together, giving them guidance on faith, and how to stand firm as girls and love Christ. That is where I started having that love of Women's Guild. And that is where I can say I started from there. And I started following, and that was, I think, 2006. I started the journey, I embarked on the journey. And 2008, after 2 years of follow-up, because you have to take 2 years as they watch you, whether you really are interested, they want to see the drive, whether you have a passion to love Christ, to serve, because it's all service. It is all service and giving freely for the Lord. And that is where I started my Women's Guild. And I put the headscarf and I started my mission there. And the drive which had been with Mom, it made me work tirelessly to serve the less fortunate, the vulnerable, the orphans, mention all. I could move and do what pertains to somebody who was needy. And I could give aids, I could give clothes, I could chip in for school fees and such. So I continued on, and I want to say this. I have to start from Jerusalem. I have to start right in my home. Because I have to look for my family members first. I have to take the initiative to allow them know what is this service I've embarked on. And my husband was there behind me. He's not born again, but he gave me all the support to serve in the Women's Guild. And my children, I have two. I brought them to the Lord's feet, and I can attest that I have seen the Lord's faithfulness, because my firstborn is married. I think she's 30. She's a Women's Guild follower. And she's doing very well, bringing up a family of 3. I can say that the Lord is doing great things in the ministry. As we look at these young ladies and bring them and show them the love of God, because it's all about Christ. It's all about Calvary. It's all about how we redefine ourselves as Christians. I can attest that these young ladies, as we know, the Women's Guild was started with girls only. And as they continued to be nourished, they got married. So after they married, so it became for Women's Guild, for both ladies,
both
women and girls.
And allow me to ask you, because you've mentioned that your husband gave you all the support, and you've also put it out that it is a personal decision you make as an individual. So when you decided that I want to join this fellowship, how did you inform your husband? Was it something that you had difficulties with, or it came naturally?
I did not have any difficulties, because the background I'm from, it was Christian, Christian, and my father was an elder. So he knew all what I took, it was to do with Christianity. So there was no issues. He just backed me up, and he gave me an okay to serve in the Women's Guild.
That's beautiful. Rez, in your situation now as the spouse of a Women's Guild member, how was that handled? Did she come to you and tell you, I've been admiring this fellowship, I want to join? Did you suggest it? How did that happen?
When we got married, and after we got married, 1 year, 2 years down the line, my wife came to me and told me that she had been approached by the Women's Guild, whether she can be one of them, because she followed them up, she went with in their fellowship. And so she asked me, the chair lady of the Women's Guild, she was called Miss Kangede, has come to me asking me whether I want to join the Women's Guild. I asked her, what's your desire, what you want? She said, I want to join. And I said, go ahead and join. And of course I gave a caution, because we were newly married, 2 years into marriage, year 2000. That's when, in 1999 is when she wanted to join the Women's Guild. So I give a caution, say, remember, those ladies go for the fellowships, not just on Sunday, but also on weekdays, and you are working. So how will you create time for that? And she said, I think I'll be going on Sunday. The other days they will, understand. And so she explained that process to me, and I knew the process, because I was already in the ministry myself. And so in the year 2000, May, the last Sunday of May, she got commissioned to the Women's Guild. So this May, by the time we celebrate this, she's now 22 years into the Women's Guild ministry. But then she got honored on Sunday, Sunday the 29th. She got honored by PCA Gateway Church as the pioneer chair lady of the Women's Guild in that parish.
Wow.
Yes, she got honored. So.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you remember the date, yet it wasn't you joining the ministry.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's something I admire. And allow me to ask you on that day of the commissioning, because I know that the person who's been commissioned has to have someone stand behind them, and in most cases it's their partner.
Yes.
So for you, how was it? What emotions were going through you at that moment, being there behind your wife?
Our firstborn baby was very young. In the year 2000, she was young, and so there was that mixed feeling that there's a young child here, and the mother is getting commissioned, and she's taking vows that she will be serving God. And the ministry will be above everything else. Her duties and everything else will come after. Of course, I had to theologize what that meant. And to me, I was like, even taking care of the baby and taking care of the husband is ministry. And so
consoling yourself.
Yes, and so that will be above everything else. Yeah. So I was like categorical. You will not go on weekdays and at the expense of your job. No, because the Women's Guild will require the givings as well. So there was also the issue like after service, you will not be left in church forever while I am home with the baby. And it's a Sunday and the house girl is on off duty. So we will be home together. Okay. So as I stood there, we had explained and made it clear that this ministry will not jeopardize our marriage.
All right.
Where family and the guild come into conflict, family will take a first priority. Yes. So as I stood there behind her, it was clear to me, family first, then the guild. Yes, that was clear.
I like that point you've put across. We'll put a note. We'll come back to that. There being a conflict between serving the ministry and family, or just any other duties as well, including job. And I think we'll come to that later. But I'd like to hear from you, Mary. How was it for you on that day when you were being commissioned? Here you are. You mentioned that your husband gave you the support and walked with you the journey. Take us through what emotions you followed for 2 years, then finally here it is, you're receiving the headscarf.
For me, because I had that desire and we had continued to share with my husband about joining the Women's Guild, the emotions were, I was happy and I was ready to take the charge of Women's Guild, because at times service and the family, there can be issues. But we set clear boundaries that what I'm supposed to do when we are going to serve, let's say it's a day and the Women's Guild will be away in the afternoon, I would first organize myself in the home and get ready with breakfast, lunch, and I all the time left it ready for him. So I would go to when we went to that day, he would just go back and release me, because behind his mind he knew everything is set and he will not have a problem. And I was very enthusiastic to take up the role, because when I looked at the pioneers, I felt that I needed to rise above any bump to make me go overboard and work for the Lord. Yes.
All right. So for you, being in the ministry also didn't mean neglect your role as a wife.
No.
You first ensured that everything
balance.
is okay.
I had to balance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it difficult?
It's not easy. As Lev said, if you go overboard and neglect one side, there are no blessings. You'll not even be able to go through the ministry because there will be hurdles. And when you have hurdles or you have baggages on your shoulders, you'll not be able to go and give out what you are going to give out.
Yeah.
So I was ready to balance and know what it takes for the ministry and what it takes for my home. Yes.
Right. Wow. Let's go back to the point that you know we noted.
Yes.
Here is a ministry
Yes.
that requires dedication,
Yes.
time. You know, and here's a family. You know, you are a wife. Mary has said it's not easy.
Yes.
You require balance. At what point then do you say for any member of the Women's Guild or husband to a member of the Women's Guild, at what point do they sit down and say, hey, my wife has neglected her wifely duties because this ministry is taking too much of her time and her effort?
At what time does that happen?
Yeah.
You know, it's necessary to always prioritize things. Like we have always said here in Transforming Families, a stable family for a stable society.
Yes.
If your family is not stable and you neglect your family at the expense of the ministry, it means when the family is unstable, the ministry will be unstable.
That's true.
It's very difficult to be successful in the ministry and do ministry in a successful way, in a fulfilling way, if at the same time you are neglecting your family.
Wow.
The moment you neglect the family and you're not happy at home, by the time you go out to the ministry, it comes out and you're not able to deliver well.
Yeah.
You will always have a challenge. When I'm at peace with my wife, with our children, it is very easy for me to go out to the ministry and serve and, you know, get fulfilled. And that's something we have always agreed with my wife. And I'll just put a rider. I am a minister of Word and Sacrament. So I am out a lot in terms of serving and sometimes coming late. And one time my wife got approached to be a church elder. And we sat down together. I told her the choice is yours, make the decision. But remember what you have said. We have a family here to take care of. So let's pray over it and ask ourselves whether this is what you want. For me, being a minister who sometimes is forced to come home late, especially if you serve in the urban. Like ministry in the urban is very difficult. And I will say it on public TV that I don't mind going to the suburban. If today I'm asked to go to the rural or suburban, I'll take it with Thanksgiving. Because by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you're done. In the city, 7 o'clock is when you begin, is when you're going for the, maombolezo, is when you're going for the meetings, and you'll always miss out on the family dinners. Unless you are deliberate on the days you have to be home with the family.
Yeah.
So balancing is not easy. You must be disciplined. Highly disciplined. Discipline is very important. Like, for example, deciding Monday, no matter what, I'll be home for dinner with the family. Sunday, no matter what, is my dinner day with the family. And, Wednesday is going to be out. Thursday, the same. Friday, I don't take evenings of the Fridays for the ministry. I stay with the family.
Okay.
So I have 3 days that I know. My family knows I could be home early on Tuesday. I could be home early on Wednesday. But they know Friday, Sunday, Monday, Dad is home.
It's given.
Sometimes Mondays I may not be and that's why we picked Sunday, because the children are also probably in school.
Yeah.
My wife is also working. It's also my day, because there's also difference between my off day and the family day. Monday is my family, in my off day. Is the day I go to play golf. It is the day I go out to catch up with boys. As in it's my it's the day I go to catch up with the boys. They know I'm off day, nimemaliza shughuli zangu, maybe we've done a round of golf, and we are going to chit chat, with the boys, catch up on what's happening. Like we say, try to solve the world's problems, and we try to really do that as boys. And the problems of the world are never over. So
They never be over.
Yeah.
And that keeps the boys going, because as long as the world is a going concern, it has problems. Like now you can imagine the political problems.
Yes.
And we will begin from the village to the national and go international and go to Ukraine and Russia. So you got to like be deliberate, be disciplined, which date you set for your family, and realize. Because it's good to know the priorities. Realize, even the employment you are in, the ministry you're so passionate about, one day you will either retire or grow so old to be of any use there. But you will never retire from your family, grow too old for the family.
Wow.
So no matter how much people will love me out there, a day will come, sooner than you know, when that ministry will not need you. That Women's Guild Ministry will not need you. They will even start saying, the old guards have refused to give way. The old ladies have refused to give way.
Yeah.
There will come a time when the ministers will look around the younger ministers and say, man, when people retire, watu wakizeeka waachie wengine. Wakiretire watu waondoke. So when that moment comes, where will I go to? So that's why family for me is such a priority in everything that I do. Yes.
I think that's such a revelation because you never retire from your family.
No.
Wow.
Wait when you become sick, God forbid. If you get sick and you're strong, like we are all here, the friends will come and visit you in the hospital. And the first few days, they'll be coming in droves. Then they start reducing in numbers.
Yes.
If the sickness goes to about a month, they will start saying, alitoka hospitalini?
Yes.
Amepona. It is it is true. It is only your family that will be left sticking with you. And I wish all of us can wake up to the reality of the importance of a family.
Family. Wow, I think that's heavy. It needs time to sink in. And I hope, no one feels attacked because you say that there comes a point where that ministry, that fellowship, that job won't need you.
Yes.
And that's the truth.
It's hard truth.
Hard truth. We have to accept it's a hard pill to swallow, but we have to, guys, because then that's how things are. And Mary, I'd like to ask you if at any point there was conflict. This question is coming from a point of view mentioning that, your husband is not born again. Here you are very dedicated in a ministry. You are the patron of this ministry. That takes your time, takes your effort. I know you've mentioned that you try to balance, but we'll come back with that. We want to see, has there been conflict at any point, you being in the Women's Guild Ministry and as well as at home, trying to balance all this. We're taking a very short break. Dear viewer, keep it right here. Comment, keep in touch with us on our social media pages. Facebook, YouTube is CAC TV Kenya.
Are you looking to grow your business? CAC TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@cactv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Tumaini Institute of Management Studies, licensed by TVET, is a college that specializes in credit management, offering certified credit professional, CCP, and other CASNEB courses. Certificates and diploma in credit management by TVET CDSCC. Other courses offered are sales and marketing by NEC, computer packages, other IT-related studies like graphic designs, video editing, and many more. We are located at Coffee Plaza 6th floor in Nairobi, opposite Easy Coach bus station along Haile Selassie. For more information, contact us through 0704 147 682 or 0722 681 114. Email us info@tumainiinstitute.ac.ke. Welcome back to Transforming Families, and thank you so much for keeping it tuned right here. Keep interacting with us on our socials, CAC TV Kenya. And Mary, we left with you. We were asking you, has there been any conflict of interest with you being a wife and with you being a leader at PCA Kahawa Farmers?
I want to say this, Faith. There has never been a conflict between me and my family members. For one, I set my goals at first, and I told him this is where I am, and I know what is good and what is wrong. I know what defiles me. I know what I will not do, and what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So there was clear indication about my ministry, and he was ready to go on what he does. And I go on with my ministry. And he released me with no problem. So there have never been a conflict. Even today, there have never been a conflict. And you know, the thing I do is just to talk to him about the change of behavior, spiritually, physically, holistically. That is what I do. And I pray for him.
And has there been a point where there's an event that needs you at church, there's an event that needs you as well at home?
Sorry, I did not get that.
Has there been a point where, you know, there's an event that needs you to attend at church?
Yes.
And at home, there's also a function or something that needs you to attend?
At that, if it comes, I'll balance. And I'll see what comes first. What I can first defer, I take the priority. If there are visitors at home, I'll not go to serve because I'll not leave Jerusalem unattended. So I have to start there. I leave them satisfied on whatever they do, and if it is a meeting, we learn on with the meeting until it is over, and I give an apology. As the Reverend said, I have to balance. Yes, and I cannot be there all the time. It will lose purpose and meaning.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Looking back at 206, when you started following, and then when you received the headscarf, and finally the badge, here you are a full member, and you've been in this fellowship for that long, that means that there's something you are gaining, and it's something good, because again, you can't dedicate yourself, your time, your money, I believe, to something that's not worth it.
Yes.
What would you say, how has the Woman Guilds impacted your life as an individual, and then as your family?
How is it? It has changed me as a service. First, I have that compassion to serve the less fortunate. I have somebody I help in school fees. And other people who are vulnerable, I'm able to serve. I'm given freely what I have, and I'm able to give back to the society. So that is what I do. There is that child I've been educating. And my husband is also very passionate in that. Therefore, I think there is a family who lost orphans, lost 2 parents through HIV. He took those 3 girls. One is in the jeshi now, the other one is a teacher, the other one was taken to a course, she did not make it. So we have brought those children up, and we can look back and say, this is what the Lord has done. Yes, it's a family. He's also passionate in helping the less fortunate. Yes, so we work together with him.
Wow, that's beautiful. Rev, on your end, how would you say the Women's Guild has impacted your wife and you as the spouse? What are the benefits that you have reaped?
Thank you very much. I want to like Mary's approach, and the fact that she still is a light in her house, even when the husband is not born again. She's still the light, and maybe probably we'll be coming back to that, because I would want us to help that lady out there whose husband probably takes alcohol, maybe goes to the men's club, and then the men's boys team, and yet at the same time she's a member of the Women's Guild.
That's true.
How does she balance the service? Maybe we'll be getting to that, because the husband is home, has all these glasses of wine and whiskey and beers around, and the wife is supposed to entertain the guests. At the same time, she's a member of the Women's Guild. And the family is very important. This is the husband that supports in the givings, in the education of her children, and everything else. And probably they used to go to the club together to drink before she saw the light. And he is still in darkness. So how does she still help him? But to your question, the Women's Guild has been very beneficial to me. Because for one, my wife has learned most of the parenting skills in the Women's Guild. The Women's Guild will have a lot of seminars on bringing up children, on parenting, on taking care of the homes. So where you would probably have looked for a place where somebody can go and learn on parenting, it has been freely been given.
Okay.
Women's Guild have always had very resourceful person. You will hear, and enough times even in the church where I am, I have participated in getting them gynecologists. Come speaking to the ladies on the gyna issues. So one sits there in a congregation, gets professional, professional consultation for the gyna issues, free of charge. You get someone to come and speak to ladies on oncology, cancer and everything else. You get someone to come and speak to them on things like, even their nutrition, nutritional value. And they get that for free. The person coming to do it is even doing pro bono. And we have always gotten very, highly educated people, experienced people to come and speak to the Women's Guild. So my wife has benefited a lot health-wise, and even in her parenting skills, health-wise, parenting skills, and even in matters investments.
Wow.
Now that, because you will get an economist or someone who is into investment coming to speak to them, by her benefiting, it trickles down to the family. So the family also has benefited on it. I know I've been on her case in matters of the Women's Guild trying to be more compliant with the current situation, more compliant with our girls. Because there's a way that, the girls don't seem very much attracted. The girls in their 20s and their 30s don't seem, especially the single girls, they don't seem attracted to the Women's Guild. And we have a daughter who has just completed university. And she will, when we talk to her about the Women's Guild, she hits the roof. But the son, our son, is so much passionate to the PCMF things, and he's younger than the girl. So there is that thing where, a woman saying there's that little gap there. I don't know how the Women's Guild are addressing the gap. But in terms of guild benefiting, it has benefited the family in a big way.
Okay.
And of course, I have benefited when I have a health wife. The benefit is mine. When I have a clean wife, because they are very passionate about cleanliness. By the way, if you see a Women's Guild member who is not clean, who does not dress well, is not passionate about her cleanliness, a good cologne, smelling nice, she has a problem. It is not the guild.
It is true.
Because I have sat there one time and there's a lady who was very passionate about the cleanliness and how to clean your armpits as a lady and all that, and other areas I can't mention on the camera, how to clean. And I sat there and I said, ukikuta mama wa guild mchafu, shida si guild. Shida ni mtu mwenyewe individually. So I have benefited a lot.
All right. When you're talking about these things, Mary is agreeing. She said, yes, we teach these things. Yes, we believe in cleanliness, all those good values. And Mary, there are several things that Trev has raised. I think let's start with how you're trying to bridge the gap between, ensuring that young girls are attracted to this fellowship because it's a good thing and that they join in big numbers.
We are trying to bring our girls closer to us in having seminars, talking to them in the fellowships. But I don't know what they see as if they join the Women's Guild at that young age, I don't know what they think they will lose, or I have not yet gotten. Not even getting married. I think they think they will lose the focus of what they want in the future. But we are praying that the Lord bring them close to us as we talk to them, as we bring them close to us through the relationship, as we go visiting them, because we are still visiting the girls and talking to them about the issues around them, how they should stand out and be counted to be holy. Because most of them, they are just running up and down. They have not been able to stand firm. And we are bringing these values of whom they are. They know, they have some self-awareness, whom they are and how they should be in church and what they should stand for. So we are still moving slowly by slowly. At our place, we are moving on with, I think we have 2. And we are praying that we bridge the gap.
All right.
Yeah. And maybe the question would ask, because she's in urban,
Yes.
whether the two of them were born and brought up in Nairobi,
Yeah, okay.
or they have come from the village to
No.
Nairobi. That's why.
No, they are born town here.
If you want to start a debate, you
I
want
know
to
you're
say
born.
Bon Town, don't join the Women's Guild.
Then the other thing is that maybe how is the dressing? Are they strict on how the girls are dressing?
Yeah.
Probably are they expecting the 14-year-old, the 21-year-old to come and dress like Mary dressed? Could they maybe those be some of the conflicts that or things that are putting the girls away?
Yeah.
Could it be the language? Are we compliant in terms of when we go to our fellowship in the urban? What language do we use in the fellowship? You know, what's the language of communication?
I think, Reverend, about dressing, we have had an issue about dressing. There's a time one of the youth comes just near the first bench. When the altar is just there, the dress is just here. What do? I just pick my wrestle, I cover her. And then from the service, we'll have one-on-one talk. And request her to talk, to dress decently, a longer one, a bit, below the knee. Because she's coming to the altar.
Okay.
We tell them they cannot dress like us. Because I will dress even like this, up to the ankle. They will not dress like so. But it is good to bring some decency in the church.
All right.
Yes.
And so instead of wearing the very short one that
Yes.
you have to cover her,
Yes.
wouldn't it be better for her to wear a trouser?
We have no problem with the trouser. We have no problem leveled with trousers.
Yes.
Yeah, we have allowed them.
So they can wear their trousers and wear the headscarf.
No. I'm talking about when they are coming to the service.
I like that.
Mchungaji.
Okay.
Mchungaji, we cannot put on a trouser and then
With the
put on
headscarf.
a headscarf. They
Maybe.
will not line.
Maybe
Yes.
tell us why.
Yeah.
You know the values of this headscarf. As we take a vow, we need that spiritual decency. And we cannot put a trouser and then I come on and put I'll lose the mark.
Okay.
I'll not be giving the guidance of how we dress. Because we dress, we put on a dress and we put on a headscarf, but not a trouser. When time comes for the headscarf, if one has a desire, she can put the trouser out there. We have no problem. Okay. But when we are in the service or we are going to attend a prayer fellowship, we dress decently.
Okay.
Okay, so trouser is not decent.
With a kitaba, it will not line mchungaji. With a kitaba, we will not mix. We will not mix mchungaji with the trouser. You can elaborate, mchungaji, whether your wife can do that. You are elaborate.
Now that the part of the Women's Guild has talked, in my house we are very liberal. We are extremely liberal. My wife has never worn a trouser and a headscarf. She's very liberal.
Yes.
Because sometimes we say instead of exposing the legs, when you wear a nice, trouser suit that is decent.
Yes.
However, that's a story for another day. So I will just want to ask that.
Well taken. That one is well taken.
All right. Let's go back to something that you had asked, Rev.
Yes.
Here's a Women's Guild member, and the husband is not born again, and there are certain values that they clearly stand for, and I like that. But then you're a wife at home, and here comes your husband and says, get me a drink, or your husband comes home with visitors, and husband says, my darling, bring the drink for us. Then what do you do then? Because there are certain things you do not do as a believer and now as a Women's Guild member.
I want to say this, Faith. I put boundaries about my faith. He knows that I cannot pick this glass of wine and pass it to him. I cannot serve. And that one I put it right from the beginning, because even when I married him, he was still taking beer. I also took some beer, a bit, and then I converted to Christ. So my way of doing things is to keep on talking to him about the word of God, about the core and pawns, about this intoxication. So we move together. I cannot tell him, don't drink, don't take beer, no. But they are boundaries. They are well cut down boundaries.
Yeah.
And he will not even send me to give him a glass of wine, no.
That is for you and in your family.
That is for me, yes. And they know, even the children, they know. Yes.
And the beauty is that, and I like Mary's sincerity in this. And I like even the boldness. You know, when we look at you, Mary, in your headscarf and your job dress, no one would think you ever touched alcohol.
Yeah, I
so,
I did.
You know, she looks so holy, yes? But
I did.
Came and you converted, eh?
Yes.
And I love that sincerity. And that's how you got married to your husband. You see, now the beauty of that is that there was even an agreement.
Yes.
And he knew and he understood that the moment this happens, you know, I'm born again, so please don't put me to temptation. Allow me now no longer to serve you. And I love that, you know, understanding between the two of them. Because it means it's no longer a conflict.
No conflict.
And it's not construed as rebellion. You know, the husband, you look at it as like, you're so rebellious. Umekuwa mjeuri, exactly. Yes.
We came into an agreement.
It's an agreement.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And for me, I believe that there are a lot of women who are not joining the fellowship because their husbands are not born again. The husband is not born again. Because I've interacted with a few who say, hey, Woman's Guild, siwezi join hiyo, sasa mzee wangu hajaokoka, or sina mzee na niko na mtoto. You know, those discussions will come up. And for me, I'd like you to tell me, first of all, why for you that wasn't a hindrance, that didn't hold you back? And is it something that you look at when someone wants to join the fellowship? Do they have to, you know, their husband has to be born again? Do they have to be married, or they can have a child and that's okay? You could tell us that. Yeah.
Me, I want to say I'm outstanding and I'm open. And where I stand as the patron, they know me. And I'm frank. I'll not put a facade to say that this is what is there in my home.
Yeah.
I'll tell them, and they know. But I did one thing. The one who saved me gave me courage.
Okay.
Oh, I'm very bold. When it comes to spiritual things, I can stand in. And he knows that is how I am. And even the ladies we work together with in the ministry, they know. There's one who was talking to me yesterday and telling me, now I'm feeling I cannot go forth. Kamuliza, why? There is heavy drinking. I told him, you have to stand on like a soldier, a good soldier of Christ, because you know what you believe in. You know who is your maker. You can't tell me now you are feeling that you are coming to the end of your, you want to bring up your family down. You have to stand on your 2 feet and declare what you believe in. So they are there. Some of them are very vulnerable because of what they go through. You know, some are very abusive. They are abusive.
Yeah.
I thank God mine is not abusive. He'll come and take supper. That's all. Some will abuse, some will make a lot of noise. But they need to take the initiative of faith. Faith will change them. And prayer. When they pray, and I tell them they have to be clean themselves. They have to start with themselves. They have to stand and say, this is what I love, this is not what I don't advocate for.
Yeah.
So it takes faith. It takes that boldness to know who saved you. And is able to take you through.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's true. And I liked that example that she's giving. Because it has to be understanding. And this would be probably the advice. She's better off, and I like her examples because me, I got born again when I was very young. So was my wife. So we didn't, the issue of things like alcohol and all that are not things we ever encountered. But I like the way she's put it that once you're born again, probably you and your husband, both of you have been drinking, and you want to join the Women's Guild. It's good for you to explain to the husband. Talk to him. Let him understand, I am born again. I have this movement of the Women's Guild that I love the fellowship and want to join. Once I join this fellowship, please, sweetheart, would you allow me not to serve alcohol anymore? If you have to take your drink, can you come with it to either to the bedroom? Can you please not expose it to the children? Or in the table room, you can even have it in the bedroom, for that kind of decency. So that there is some understanding between you and your spouse, so that again it's not looked into as being a rebellious situation, whereby now again the husband may choose to embarrass you because umekuwa mjeuri. So he might even decide, wakati your fellowship itakuja hapa, that is the moment I will come home staggering. And throw everybody out. Hiyo ujeuri umejiwekelea nitakuaibisha mbele yao. So it's also good to mitigate that proper, because this is your family. And like I said, for me, I treasure family in a very big way. Because when the family is together, there is understanding. You are even able to go out and serve in a happier and better environment.
Okay.
Even as you're serving.
All right. As we come to a conclusion, very briefly, guys, for you, speaking on behalf of all the husbands who are married to members of the Women's Guild, what would you say are the benefits? One, briefly, and then two, your advice to a husband who's saying you can't join that fellowship. It will take everything away. That's where you will focus. Rev.
Like I've said, the benefit is that my wife has gotten free learning, free education from the Women's Guild. She's a better person, trained better on matters parenting, matters health, matters investment. She has received all that. Through the Women's Guild, my wife has gone out for treats. She's gone for outings. She has enjoyed life. She's gone to Mombasa swimming, and gone for retreats. There is some enjoy. There is a kujiachilia. It has given her a forum to air her feelings. Where they just go and talk the girl stuff. Utasikia fellowship ilisha, tukatoka hapo nje, tumeongea for an hour. So that kind of a place for her to vent, to talk. By the time she comes home, ameongea. Ile unajua ile tunasemanga mshenea wa mama she has a forum for
all right.
She has a forum for hiyo yote tuongea. So which is very good, because she comes home a happy person, relaxed, fulfilled. She has a social group that she can catch up with. Vile the chamas, the mama chamas that wamenyang'anyana pesa, walifanywa kwa guild, hakuna hiyo. Kwa guild it is a chama that is godly, hakuna ati nani alinyang'anya nani pesa. So she has a chama she looks forward to. Okay. Like for her, I'm telling you, Tuesday fellowship in Gateway Church is a big time for her. Jioni, because yao inaanzanga saa moja jioni. Haraka haraka anaenda chama guild. Guild ni ya saa moja hadi saa mbili inaisha. Lakini ikiisha hiyo, wasindikizane, wasimame mahali waonge. So it gives her that form. Okay. And I'm happy about that. The advice to that gentleman there who is saying, guild wanapotezana. Guild hawasaidiani. No, it's the place that my wife will run rebellion. That is misinformed. Please, guild is a beautiful place to be. Those that are rebellious, it's not as a result of the guild, it's an individual decision that one has taken. So allow your wife, who she is, she can only become better. If she becomes rebellious, it's not because of the guilt, it's a seed in her, and she simply was looking for a place to air it out.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Mary, your parting shot, what would you say to, people who are thinking, should I join the ministry? Will that affect my family? Would I become a better wife? Briefly.
I want to let my viewers know that it's good to take that initiative and the decision to serve Christ in that ministry, because they are blessings. There is no way you come short of anything because of the service. So I would call them to come and serve. And those ones who are feeling that they are down because the husbands are not born again, hold on faith. Believe in Christ. Pray for them. Love them. bring them close to Jesus. Amen.
Wow. Thank you all for today.
Thank you.
It has been an amazing and interesting program. I'm so glad I had you on board. And to you, dear viewer, I hope you have learned so much. Keep interacting with us on our socials, CAC TV Kenya. Till next time, my name is Faith Kaulu, and thank you so much for tuning into Transforming Families. Goodbye. We welcome your feedback on our programming. For questions or comments, kindly get in touch with us via email info@cactv.org, SMS 011 220044, or call us on 0794 588 054.